And it was the first time we talked since everything. And when we talked, like, he walked up, shook my hand, and it was like the biggest thank you he could have ever given me, you know, like.
Welcome to episode 64 of the Harvester Sports Podcast. Your hosts, Noah
and Austin.
And today we are joined by super special ghost.
She's not a ghost.
He's not a ghost.
Wow.
We've got the New Orleans Saints quarterback.
How about that?
Isn't that weird?
In the building.
Can you say that one more time?
Yeah, that's
Saints
New Orleans
quarterback.
Saints.
Derek Carr.
That's right. That's right.
He said that to me while we were out there, like, thinking of stuff to talk about. He was like, "Yeah, Saints quarterback." I'm like, that still feels weird.
Still feels weird.
It's got a good ring to it, though.
It feels good.
Yeah,
it's just going to take some time.
For sure, going to take some time. At least you still got good uniforms. You got some good drips still.
Absolutely. Big part of the decision process.
I'm sure.
It's like, what do I want to wear?
He's like, I still kind of like the black.
You didn't want to be like, you know, drip is important. Dave was wearing that Reebok in Texas.
You can't be Houston, DCA.
Look, Dave wore Reebok in Houston, and he wore No Fear at Fresno. I was like, this matters.
Yeah, for sure. You want to start it, or we go?
Yeah, we've got a lot of questions about, you know, the big stories, obviously, coming to New Orleans. But I wanted to ask you, because now that you've been in the NFL for about a decade now and have had we could say the privilege of playing for a lot of different coaches.
Yeah.
And you've seen a lot of different systems. So what is it about Dennis Allen, somebody who you played for as a rookie at the beginning of your career, that made you drawn towards him in free agency, made you want to play for him?
Yeah, it was hard making the decision. I'll say that because, you know, I met with so many great coaches, and I'll talk about the ones that people knew about. Yeah, so I don't put anyone. I'll make anyone else feel bad or something. You know? But
right.
I met with Coach Saleh with the Jets and fell in love with that guy, man. Like, he is awesome. And I was like, dude, like, he was in Houston with your dad, you know, and my brother. And I remember texting Dave. I was like, dude, I love this guy. You know, and Coach Downing's there, who I know. And, you know, and then Coach, you know, Dennis Allen, I've always loved, and we've always had a respect for one another, playing against each other. He gave me my first opportunity and all that. And one thing I loved my rookie year is he came in. I knew he came into a hard situation. There's no cap space. You know, there was no draft picks. You know, they had money problems and all this. And then he's like, I'll take the job, you know, and I respect the heck out of that. Like, I'll try and be the one that helps. I'll be the one that tries to fix it, you know, and it didn't probably work out how he wanted it to, but I respect that out of him as a man, you know, to walk into that situation and be like, I'll be the one.
Yeah.
And he ended up drafting guys that helped get him out of that hole. You know, he helped drafting a lot of guys that got second and third contracts that are still playing in the NFL 10 years later, from one draft and one free agent class, you know, and just being in the building with him and the things he would talk about and the belief that he had in our team. You know, we were a mixture of guys probably at the end of their career and a lot of guys at the beginning of their career. And there was like really nothing in the middle, you know, and to see him be able to bring that team together and us still go after it to where, you know, we finished the year, you know, 3-3, knocking 3 teams out of the playoffs that everyone said we shouldn't beat them. But I just remember him, you know, instilling that in us that we could do it. And it took us a little bit longer than he probably would have liked, because he probably would have still been there, you know, but it's just, once I got back around him, you know, I've grown so much, he's grown so much. You know, we both have learned a lot, and we both have been successful in our own rights, but there's still some winning and some things that we both want to do that we haven't done yet. And so I think it's a cool story that we get to get back together and do it, but getting around him again was nice.
And that's what seems so hard about it, because I remember, like, during the process, like, I was talking to you, I won't mention the other teams, but, like, you're always like, dude, the Jets are making it really hard on me. Like, because you, like, love those guys, all the players reaching out. Yeah. And it felt like, I was like, this is such a hard situation for Derek, because this is the first time since college when you've got to, like, choose the path of where you're going to be. And that must have been so wild for being with the Raiders for so long. And now it's like, all right, where do you want to go?
You're exactly right, dude, bro. It was wild, you know, like, especially, you know, if everyone knew all the teams, you know, and out of respect to everyone, you know, I just won't say it, but, you know, in their situations. But, like, to me, it was like, dude, this is nuts. Like, NFL free agent is crazy. You know,
Yeah.
you think the NIL stuff is crazy.
Yeah.
This stuff is crazy, you know. And the Jets were making it hard because I have nothing but respect and love for Coach Saleh. Like that dude right there, like if he asked me to do it, like anything, run through that iron gate, yes, sir, I'll do it my best, I promise. Like I'm not even on his team, and I'd still do it. Like if he called me right now, I'd be like, "Bro, are you working out?" I'd be like, "No, but I will, sir." I'm doing a podcast. Like he has just that effect, and he made it really hard because I can't begin to express how I feel about him and Coach Downing and Coach Hackett and all the guys in that building that I got to meet, and the players, and they were reaching out, and Sauce and Quinn, all these guys, reaching out, and they definitely made it hard, but at the end of the day, I had to make a tough decision because could I have seen myself as a Jet? Absolutely, but there was just something about the Saints organization, from the owner to the general manager to the head coach to everyone in that building, just the love and the respect that I felt, not only I felt, but my wife, that we both felt like, man, this is home for us. But it was not easy. But I'm glad that we're going to New Orleans, and I'm glad that we found a house, and now my job, Heather can fill it with furniture, and now I can just play football.
And that's something that was really cool to see during free agency, was just all the players from the Jets, from especially the Saints. You saw a lot of it taking to, whether it was through Twitter or whatever, just the stuff that you see even publicly. And I'm sure there's a lot more in privately of messaging you and just saying like how much they appreciate you. And I'm sure that's awesome and makes a big difference in free agency. Just feeling like stepping into a new situation, you want to step into a situation where the players that you're going to be leading really want to have you there and have a lot of respect for you. Yeah.
Well, one thing I didn't tell anybody is like, at the Pro Bowl, which was hilarious in its own right. It's a whole different story. But
when you have that dog in you,
I did actually have my heart.
I bet it's still in there though. It wasn't just during the Pro Bowl.
It's there. I have a paper that said I was released by the Raiders, and it's definitely hanging up. So there's a fire burning for sure. But but at the Pro Bowl, I went up to DeMario and Cam, and I was talking to them, and I was like, dude, like, I'm going to meet with your guys, I think, and hopefully, know how all the scheduling worked and all that. But, one thing that's important to me is how do y'all feel about it? Because they can want me all they want. But if I walk into that locker room and y'all are like, man, I don't know, or just tell me. I was dead honest. I was like, bro, just tell me. Like, I do not care. You tell me exactly what you think, and because I want to walk into a situation where people are excited to have me. Yeah. I'm not walking in like, I'm going to prove it every day. I get to reinvent myself again. I get to go to a new spot and show them my work ethic, and where people aren't used to it, where they haven't seen it for 10 years. Right. They haven't seen all the things that I'll do or the things I do when no one's looking and all that kind of stuff to help our team just try and win. And I get to reinvent that. But I said I wanted to step in a situation where the respect and the want, the desire to win was the same. And a lot of people say they want to win, but a lot of people aren't trying to win in the same direction, And, these guys are all on the same page. They all wanted me to come. They were all fired up. And that doesn't mean we're going to win a lot of games. We have to go earn that. But what it showed me is like the respect of the locker room to step into that role as the leader. I can walk and step into that role, and help be one of the leaders for our football team, because they already have so many great leaders on that team. But I can step in and just, hey, here's Derek. All right, let's go. Here we go. It's not like this. I got to, prove myself. I mean, I played these guys for 9 years. Yeah. I played a lot of these guys multiple times. Played Tyron multiple times. I've played DeMario multiple times. Cam multiple times. I'm going to stop naming names before I forget somebody. But I've played these guys, and that was important to me, is that respect. That when I step into that locker room, that they wanted me to be there. And so the players reaching out publicly and more so privately, it meant a lot. Like I'm texting these guys, probably a little too much as I'm trying to look for houses, dude. Are there snakes here? Are there gators here?
Any good places to eat around here?
Yeah, I went to Chipotle. And it's so funny. Juwan Johnson sent me a list of places to eat. So I will have places to eat in New Orleans until I'm retired probably. He was like, dude, I got you. You don't got to go to Chipotle every time. And so. But that, like you said, it was a big part of why I decided to go there for sure.
Yeah. What's the mindset because you talked about stepping in to a leadership position where there's also already leaders on the team.
Yeah.
The difference between where you have been on one team for 9 years and there's lots of different teammates that are coming and going during that time and you're the leader throughout that versus stepping in somewhere and immediately being the leader with guys that have been there. You've got lots of veteran guys on that team, also young guys that are getting drafted this next year or were drafted this last year. What's the mindset with that?
Yeah, for me is I'm always just going to be me. I don't yell a lot. I get fired up, and I will yell on game day, and at practice. But when we're working on stuff like that, I'm going to push guys and challenge them, and I'm going to look at their weight while I lift mine, and just in my own little ways, just keep pushing, making it uncomfortable. There's ways to do that, and I have to earn the respect. And I told him, I said, my plan is to come in and earn your respect not only on the field but off the field,
right? So
that on Sunday or Thursday or Monday, whenever we're playing, Saturday sometimes now, right? They have to have football games on it every day. Yeah. I said, I want to make sure that that I did the work and you can trust me.
Right.
And I said, I'll earn that. I plan on earning that. But I'm coming in and I'm going to be me, and I'm not going to be overbearing or anything like that. But everyone is building a team right now to go try and win a Super Bowl. And so the faster we can just be forget all, you haven't been here. Anytime we ever got a new lead, Chandler Jones comes in last year, I said, bro, lead, go. Yannick come in, lead, go. Be you. We don't, if you're walking in, we don't have time to, do all that. We're trying to catch up for guys that have been together for years and trying to beat those guys. And so we got to go now. And I think there's a fine line you walk there, and you try your best to toe it as best you can, but being yourself, for me, is what I think that I'm going to walk in and just be me.
And if you're all on the same page with the same goal to win, then
I don't think exactly, and which one thing that was important to me is, with the teams that I was picking between all that was I wanted to be on a team with a bunch of grown men, as your dad says, no green bananas, We want yellow bananas.
Yeah,
we want guys ready to rock. And that was important to me too. Is so I can walk in there and they're going to expect me to be me day one. Because their expectation is they want to win now. We're not all 22.
Right.
Yeah.
I'll be 32 here in 6 days. Or whenever this podcast drops. You guys can do the math.
Yeah.
You'll know when we shot it.
Yeah.
But for me is. That part of it was important, was the type of character, because it doesn't guarantee you wins, but it guarantees the work and the chance to win, that kind of thing.
That's almost made me cry. Bring a tear to my eye.
Come on, man. I'll motivate you.
Exactly.
Personal foul on you for not being subscribed to the YouTube channel. Fix it.
I wanted to also, before we keep going on, I know this off-season must have been stressful, but I wanted to go to a little bit more of a biblical side. Did you have a verse or two that stood out to you during this time, or that you kept going back to when you're choosing these teams and you're thinking all this stuff coming out, especially those last 2 weeks of the regular season last year?
Yeah,
that really helped you. Sorry to throw you in the spot like that.
I'm ready. And be ready in season and out. For me, it was just the peace that surpasses all understanding, right? Chaotic, right? Finish to the season. You're not playing. They don't want you to get hurt. They don't want to pay you, just in case. And just in case you don't come back, they may want to keep you. And it's just if you let your mind get trapped into all that, it can be chaotic. I had a peace, man, the whole time, that I knew that I was okay. It was harder for y'all. It was harder for my family. It was harder for everybody. I'm putting out fires. Y'all, I'm not freaking out. You don't got to freak out. I'm going to be all right. I ended up getting, taken care of.
Yeah.
Right? Are you kidding me?
I remember it's like that was almost like during the whole time, it was almost like, is Derek really this calm, or is he just like that emotionally distraught that he's not telling us? And then at the end, I was like, no, he's just like, he doesn't care. Like, it's fine. Like,
I'm good.
Like, we overall putting up this thing and like, oh, we gotta like fight for Derek. I was like, bro, Derek doesn't care, guys. Like, we're good. Like, let's, after we realized that, it's like, oh, we can just relax. If Derek's fine, we're fine.
Everybody chill.
If Derek was stressed, then it would have been panic. You know what I'm saying?
Everybody been crying.
No, there have been shots everywhere.
Oh, man, Twitter would have blew up.
But then once Derek told me, like, boys, I'm good. I'm like, oh, okay, we're fine. Like, Derek's got it.
We're good, and like I said, like I would tell y'all, like, bro, what like all the stories I would tell you guys and the things that you guys know that a lot of people don't know, and all that kind of stuff. Like, what's it going to help us if we start firing those shots? What's that going to do? It's not going to do anything for me. Honestly, it's just going to be like fuel to a fire that doesn't help somebody else.
Exactly.
And whether I agree or not, whether I like someone or not, like, who cares? Like, it doesn't even matter.
Yeah.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And the funny thing is, I got nothing but love for everybody.
Yeah.
You know, and I think that, you know, if I could have love for them and I'm the one going through it, like, everyone can have love for them.
Yeah.
You know, you ain't got to like them, you know. But it's all right. Like, I talked to Mr. Davis at Waller's wedding, you know, and it was the first time we talked since everything. And when we talked, like, he walked up, shook my hand, and it was like the biggest thank you he could have ever given me, you know. Like, he said, man, he's like, you know, over my, you know, years, there's things I wish I did better, and, you know, this. And I said, yeah, me too, of course, you know, that's humans, you know.
Right.
We're always going to have that, you know. And we talked, but he said, thank you so much for always giving me your best. I said, I can promise you I gave it everything I have. And he said, no, you gave it everything you had, and I thank you for everything you did for the organization. He went on for like 5 minutes, and and that for me was like, you know, just getting the thank you for the work. You know, the thank you for breaking my back and my ankle and my finger and my neck and my, you know, the concussion, the ribs, the this, the that, the surgeries. That, like, just sometimes a thank you is nice, you know, at the end of it. And it was so professional and so excellent that I was like, anything you need, you know, when I'm going to go play somewhere else. But when that's done, of course I'm going to come back and help you and help the organization. Like, my name's on, you know, it's going to take someone some years to break the records, you know. Like, I'll at least have them for a while.
Still in those books.
You know, my name will be up there for a while.
It's not going to be gone over a season,
It's not going to be gone in a season.
And that's something that, like, ahead of this, we had posted something just asking some of our followers, like, what kind of questions they might have for you. And as we could have expected, about half of those questions that people have are like, what does he really think about? What do you really think about Davis, about McDaniels, about whatever? And it's like people want you to, you know, get on a podcast and just unleash, and it's just not, it's not like that.
Yeah, it's not going to happen.
Yeah.
Of course I have things to say. I'm human.
Right.
They probably have things to say.
Yeah.
We all got things, you know, but it ain't going to help nobody, you know, like, you know, I'll be honest, if it's a conversation that matters, like with these teams, and they ask me questions, of course I'm gonna be honest. You know, I told the truth to everybody, and I was always told by Coach Dub, you know, at Fresno, like, he said, you ain't gonna have a good memory if you just tell the truth.
Right.
And so I told the truth to everybody. So I didn't have to remember, I told them this. I'm honest with the Raiders. I'm honest with the Jets. I'm honest with the Saints. I'm honest with. I'm honest with all of them. You know, and it made it so much easier and lighter for me to deal with the whole situation because, you know, do I have things that I want to complain about? Of course, I'm human. You know, do I have things that I wish I did better? Of course, I'm human. You know, but the one thing I am proud of is the effort and the what I gave for 9 years, and to, you know, Mr. Davis come to me and say thank you and all this kind of stuff. And I told him, I said, again, like, I'm a Raider, you know, like when I retire someday, like, you can't take that away from me. You know, you can't take away what I did in Oakland. You can't take away what I did in Las Vegas. Like, you can be mad at it, but you can't take it away, you know, and, you know, it is what it is. And so, it didn't end how I wanted it to, you know, it was very up and down with the winning, but I tried to always bring a consistent effort, you know, and be one of those guys that help make it consistent, you know, help. You know, hey, we're moving to Vegas. Throw Derek in front of the camera. Hey, we're you know, this is happening. Throw him in front of the camera. You know, he'll say the right stuff. And I tried my best to hold myself with that commitment to being excellent for them. And again, like, everything I do after here, I hope that the Raider fans can be happy for me. You know, because I'll be happy for them. I hope Jimmy does great. I have a lot of friends on that team. So I hope Jimmy does great because I want them to have success because I know when you don't how hard it is.
You're not out there blocking numbers right after you switch teams. You know what I'm saying?
Gosh, no. I still tell Maxx, like, up yours, bro. Like, when we play, like, up yours. Dude, like, see me.
It's the same thing with Khalil. Like, you guys still best friends. Yeah.
But, like, I'm going to talk trash to him. He's talking trash to me last play of the game, first game of the season. Here I come. And sure enough, there he was. Like, it is what it is.
Yeah, but when the Saints play the Raiders next, you're going to ask for a double team on Maxx, you think?
Yeah, I bet, hey, y'all slide that way.
Say, I could get sacked 5 times this game as long as none of them are Maxx.
I'm going to get sacked 20 times by the dude over here. Y'all block the dude over there. That's awesome.
I think, like, what you're saying, though, is, like, 100% true. Like, there was some things where, like, of course, you're him and you're going to be mad or upset about. But, like, I remember, especially when you got voted into the Pro Bowl, people were like, oh, no, is Derek going to be like, awkward? He's going back to Vegas. I'm like, no, he doesn't care, bro. Like, he get back to a Pro Bowl. This is sick. We're all going to the game. Like, this is going to be another great time.
Throw a couple touchdowns.
Yeah, none of us were, like, hiding. Yeah.
Who cares?
Hey, you always got to throw at least one pick.
They don't count
Pro Bowl.
They don't.
You got to throw a pick.
Yeah, you're not slinging it right if you're not throwing a pick.
If you don't throw a pick, I have a theory, and I've said this, that if you don't throw a picky in the Pro Bowl, you're not trying enough.
Yeah.
You got to try something.
Yeah, if you're not numb to the pick in the Pro Bowl, when are you going to be numb to the pick?
You're taking it a little too serious if you're not throwing pickies in the Pro Bowl.
You got to sling that thing.
You got to try and look at this is exactly what I did too. Is Buddha was playing safety, Jair was playing corner. I looked right at that route and tried to sneak in like a whole shot. And I was like, okay, I got the corner. And then here comes Buddha. Because he doesn't play anything but 100%. 100 miles. Bow! I was like, dang it. But you got to try it.
That's what, also, talking about the Pro for a second. That's all good. That was one of the things about the Pro Bowl, whereas like the other ones when it's tackle, it looked like everyone's going slower. This one looked like the most, I was like, these dudes are playing for real. Like they're actually having fun. Yeah.
I think it was cool because everyone just put their guard down and just like have fun, like cook,
Yeah.
Like watching some of those guys run those routes and watching Surtain jump an in cut and watching, Sauce guard someone in the back line. Like, dude, it was. They're competing, but there's also no fear of like, okay, I'm gonna get rolled up because someone's getting tackled, or it's like because ain't nobody trying to get hurt. Like you see Myles Garrett doing the competition, he got hurt on his toe or whatever, and like that's a fluke thing. That's unfortunate, that's sad, but no one wants to see that.
Yeah, no one. Yeah.
And so I think that by taking the pads off, you eliminate. Hey guys, play 7-on-7.
And even that's a little different than like. Playing flag football versus having Myles Garrett climb over a wall. That one was a little. I was like, if there was an event that's maybe not in the best interest of the player, it's maybe that one.
But the Browns probably thought that.
Yeah, I'll tell you though, the amount of times the Gritty was in that one day up in the booth watching you throw to Jamaal was probably uncountable.
I told Jamaal because I was like, if I get hurt in the Pro Bowl, like the Raiders have to pay me. So I told Jamaal, I was like, when I throw you a touchdown, because I'm going to throw you a touchdown, I'm going to act like I pulled my hammy, or something that's like really bad. So I walked away, I was like, and then I hit that Gritty.
I was watching. There were some people who heart skipped a beat a little bit.
Yeah.
I promise, no matter what I was doing, standing on the side or whatever, there was someone from the Raiders watching it all the time.
Yeah.
Sweat bullets coming down.
I remember just like playing ball, cheer like, oh yeah, and I hear, what? I turn on Swaggy's deep hitting the Gritty in the back. Oh, he has a right foot.
It's so fun, man. You gotta have. It was fun.
It looked like it was so much fun.
But it was not awkward going back to Vegas. I was like, I live in Vegas. Vegas is home. So if everyone's awkward about that, like they better get used to seeing me around town because I'm not going anywhere.
Like how you said that Vegas is home. I was curious, what is it about? Because everywhere you've gone, you've been super involved in the community, like what you're doing in Bakersfield today, stuff you do in Fresno, Vegas, wherever you go. So I was curious, what is it about New Orleans as a city and a culture community that drew you towards that team as well?
Honestly, my wife and I, we fell in love with the people. Like looking for a house and all those kind of things. Like, it's not like looking in Las Vegas. There's 13 different communities you can look in, and this one's gated, this one has a golf course, this one has this, and then all the amenities, all this kind of stuff. And we fell in love with the hospitality and just the love of the people, the reception. Like when I came on my visit, we're at the hotel, and just the guys working in the driveway there at the hotel are like, dude, we can't wait, man. You got to come here. Like, we love you, man. Whatever you need, all this. And it was just this, it felt like home, like it felt like we could make this our home, during the season, like I honestly felt like I want to win for this city. Like I want to win for these people, like I kept going back to that with Heather. Like it just felt like family. And I tried my best not to say like Brian Kelly, a family. So I went back to Louisiana. I was like, if they asked me to speak at this Pelicans game, I might have to say his whole speech. Exactly. I might have to do it. And I was like, people are going to think I'm lying when I say y'all and all that. They're like, because everyone's like, you're from California, you don't have an accent. I was like,
people already have a weird thing with your accent where people want to talk a lot about the way you talk.
All right, so okay, I went to the Saints because a lot of reasons, but we fell in love with the people. Okay, I answered that. Now my accent. Look, bro, after 5th grade, let's just stop there. My whole mom's side of the family is from Texas.
Yeah.
So that's all I heard growing up. I didn't really know my, dad's side of the family, grandparents. We hung out with my mom's parents. And so like everything was y'all, everything's, well, fix you a cot in the corner, honey. That's how it was. And then, so I grew up that. And then I go from, which the Central Valley is very Texas, And so then I went from that and I went to Houston. So now I'm living in Houston from after 5th grade, 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th. I grew up in Houston. So as my voice is changing, like I'm literally growing up there. You know? Like saying y'all and we're fixing to go over here. Like y'all come on over whenever you want. Like, and so like when it comes out, like, I was like, I don't know what y'all expect out of me. Like, this is exactly where I grew up. Just because you pulled up my bio and it says Bakersfield or Fresno.
People hear one interview, Google, where's Derek Carr from? And then they see Bakersfield and they're like, whoa,
he faked his accent. Just like I wear eyeliner. I'm like, bro, shut up. Like, bro, what are we talking? Honestly, y'all just mad. Y'all weren't blessed.
That's the next level of hating when you're hating on a man's eyes. What are we doing?
What are we doing? I mean, these things are beautiful.
I don't get it either, but like when I listen, I'm like, I see it, I'm like, what are people talking about? It just sounds like he's talking normal.
Yeah,
like we're gatekeeping the word y'all.
Yeah, I'm like, what are we?
Yeah, y'all is only if you were from here, and it's like, oh, funny enough, I was from there. So is my whole family. My auntie Helen traveled in stagecoach from Oklahoma to Texas, and they used to go get groceries on their horseback and come back. I was like, yeah, that's my family. And so
sometimes I say y'all because I listen to a lot of country music. Something rubs off on you. You never know where it comes from.
That's awesome.
I'm more concerned like how your accent isn't worse, or like Tyler when it was, because it's like Houston and Bakersfield, New York, Carolina. I'm like, what is that accent like?
What is that accent? Especially when we don't even know Papa's origins. We're like, dude, we're a mixed bag.
And then Tyler claims that he doesn't know the months of the year because he moved from New York to Bakersfield, and that month he missed class, and that's why he doesn't know the months of the year.
That was the time they taught him.
He said we were battling the months, and when I moved over, we started doing numbers again. He missed it.
Numbers.
So he got twice the. So he should be really good at numbers.
Yeah, he's really good at numbers.
He actually is.
Yeah, he's pretty good.
He is pretty good.
He's our stat guy. Supposed to be.
That's why he's our stat guy.
The worst. Hey, try to pull that stat up. He pulls up Derek Jeter's batting average.
People still bring that up. It was the funniest thing ever.
10 times out of 10 times, he will pull up a stat. It might not be the stat you want, but he's got stats.
Oh, he'll pull up a stat. Yeah.
Also, I wanted to ask, are you pulling up to a Fresno game with us when Ty's there?
I hope so. Because the scheduling. I hope so. I don't even think I can go to the spring game. Yeah. Because it's the 15th.
I think so.
And we start the 17th. And so I'm in New Orleans.
Yeah.
But I have to. Like, see Ty Cook.
That reminds me of a video I wanted to get your take on.
Okay.
You seen this one?
Oh, yeah. Y'all are going to show that, right?
No, that's getting put up there.
Swaggy getting pancakes.
So what
the next play after Ty did get him back.
But we don't show the second.
We're focusing on that one.
No, don't show the second clip. So I never forget Terrence Dennis. I hope he sees this. There's a long shot that he does. I don't know if he's a follower of the Harvester. Okay.
Most people are.
Yeah, most people
are. You're right. Just tell Elon to post it.
Yeah.
So Terrence Dennis, we're playing a scrimmage, and it was my first year. And I'm sprinting for the goal line, and Pat Hill made me live all spring because we were competing. He wanted to see if I could take the hits, and if I was 185 pounds soaking wet, to see if I could play. And so I'm running for the goal line, and I've already been hit by the whole defense. Because I'm new, so I'm in the third team. Then I got to the second team, and so I got a lot of young guys on my tackles, and so whatever. I'm running, and Terrence Dennis hits me in the side of the head harder than I've ever been hit in my life, right at the goal line. Wow! Knocks me all the way up to the red wall, at Fresno State. And I was like, welcome to college football. That was like a moment for me. That's not as bad. Ty's moment will come, but it reminds me of a moment where you're just doing a drill and all of a sudden, you just feel like it doesn't even look like he's trying, but the power of someone that's maybe bigger and stronger than you feel it for the first time. Your knee buckles.
That's what Tosh told me. He said, "Bro, no, you're supposed to get pancaked in this drill." I was dying laughing.
No, you're not.
It's like how they, how like fighters like train like how to go down right to where it doesn't hurt you as much, or whatever. Like surfers that work on like the right way to wipe out. He's like, you want to know how to get pancaked.
Yeah, you gotta eat that. No.
He also showed me for the podcast. He said, "Should we talk about it?" I'd never seen it. You punting at Fresno.
Yeah, against New Mexico. That's one of the greatest punts I've ever seen.
All time.
I punted 10 times in college.
I've only seen the one.
He showed us the one after you get on like the inch line.
I'd have to pull up the stats if our stat guy was here. Okay, I think I punted 10 times, 9 inside the 20. Because we're kicking from the 50.
So was it always like a fake? Yeah. What do you even call it? Fake pass punt? Is that what that would be?
So I would be at the line of scrimmage, and I forget our rule, but Coach Schramm, I'd look at Coach Schramm, and he'd go like this, like he'd point at his foot, I think it was, if we punted it, or he'd probably point to Tay or throw it to him, And so I'd call. It was basically I was trying to throw it to Davante, and if Davante's route was doubled or didn't look right, then I punted it. And so we went for it on 4th down like all the time. Mm-hmm. And that's the only way to get to 5,000 is you got to throw that thing. So you need all 4 downs sometimes. And so that's basically what it was. But I remember I punted a lot my junior year, a couple times my senior year, I think. But
so that's an option about every time when we
passed
you're running an option where you can pass it if you like what you see, or
so I'd like to see. If not, I made a check and they would protect it as a punt. Yeah,
that's also the wildest option ever. It's I guess either I'm going to bomb it or we're going to punt it right here.
Yeah, I'm either throwing Davante a touchdown,
or it's a punt,
or I'm going to punt the ball. So just get ready to go.
Guys, it's either special teams or throwing it.
It's been the left guard.
Yeah,
like what? Okay, I'm going to get my
pass sitting here.
Yeah, in the game situation in which you're like, we're either going for it on 4th and 10 or we're just punting it. It's like is this a close game? What's going on?
Yeah, I never sat in one special teams meeting. Never one time, and I think I might have punted more than our actual punter that year. we had a pretty good offense.
Oh yeah. Hey, I just caught you not subscribed to our YouTube channel. Change that.
One question that I had, totally shifting gears, is that throughout the time you've been in the NFL, which has been a while now, you've always been super open about your faith, super vocal about that, and I was wondering what your perspective is, because just as a fan who watches a lot of games, a lot of interviews, it feels like lately athletes have become increasingly more sort of vocal and outspoken about their faith. I was just wondering if that's something that you feel like you've noticed, because I think that guys like you have been super influential in making that happen.
Yeah, I think a lot of people would be very surprised. A lot of people I saw as you got higher in the ranks, you found more and more believers. For whatever reason, you just find them. A lot of guys, I'd say, become more outspoken recently because everyone's outspoken about everything.
Yeah.
Well,
everyone's got a platform and everyone's using their platform now.
I think more guys using their platform. I mean, you see everyone posting on Instagram, especially football guys in this kind of period, like from now until the season, like just did a talk with so-and-so, or, they're speaking out there. With social media and with podcasts and with YouTube and all this kind of stuff, a lot of guys, more people are seeing their faces rather than just after a game on a Sunday interview.
Yeah, not just when you're out of breath, sweaty on the sideline.
Exactly. You're getting more, the picture of who they are is still like this. Like, people have a picture of me in their head, and who it actually is like 10% of who I am. Mm-hmm. Because they're not around me. They don't know me. Like, everyone has an opinion about all these guys, but you don't really know them. But you're getting a bigger picture than what it used to be.
Right.
And some guys take their platform, and like Will Compton and, Taylor, they've taken their platform. Now you know who they are,
Yeah.
Like, 'cause it's so big, and it's awesome, and it's cool to see them in their element, and I think guys like sharing their faith and stuff, I think you're finding to hear that more because, one, I would say this too, like, LeBron was starting to get really outspoken about political things and different things in his life and in his school and this kind of stuff. And I think when a guy of his stature begins to speak out on what he loves and what he's about, more guys feel comfortable. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I think that's, if I'm honest, like, that's why you see some guys come out saying, yeah, this is what I believe, man. I love Jesus, and that's who I serve. I have one master, and that's it. And, you see some guys standing for this, standing for that, but I think it's coming out more, especially in the day we live in. And I think it's a beautiful thing. I really do, because, for me, I grew up seeing guys do that, and I just said, it's always a challenge, because if you're going to be about it, you got to be about it. When it's hard, when it's easy, if that's who you are, that's who you are. And I think you're seeing more guys be outspoken because they have more confidence in just being able to be free in who they are. And I think it's a good thing.
And just a few minutes ago, we saw DC8 with CJ Stroud, and CJ Stroud shouted out, he's like, before I do anything, I just want to, give thanks to my Lord. And I was like, that's beautiful. That's great.
That's awesome. And I mean, we may be playing twice a year, which would be crazy.
Which would be very crazy.
But CJ doing that, especially as a young kid, especially the draft's coming up, what would people think? Like, man, just, one thing I learned too in professional sports is if you're just who you are, whether everyone agrees or doesn't agree, right? A lot of us can agree on a lot of things. A lot of us can disagree on a lot of things, right? It's hard to get even the same team to agree on one thing, right? When everyone's going for the same goal, right? But if you just argue, Marshawn Lynch would always tell me, I would always watch him, I should say, and the respect that he would have for people that were just honest about who it is they were and what they felt and how they thought. He respected them so much. I learned so much from him. And honestly, that's really how the NFL is, is just, man, just be you, right?
Yeah.
Don't be fake. I think the fakeness is what drives people crazy, and
Right.
I think that's where I think you see a lot of stuff like in the faith about being Christian and serving Jesus. I think that a lot of people have seen fake. And when they've seen fake, now everybody's fake, right? And I think that we got to kind of switch that narrative, and that it is possible to really live it out, And hopefully, like you said, more guys are doing it and saying it. Hopefully they continue to do it and people see it.
And that actually takes us sort of into one of the, I forget exactly how he worded it, but one of our fans asked a question that was kind of just, as somebody who is outspoken about your faith and also in such a public position where everything you do is under a microscope, does it start to feel like you're held to, the fact of the matter is you're just held to a standard that a lot of people aren't. I always see the comments anytime that you show any emotion. Well, he's getting angry. It's not Christ thing to do. He's angry. Why is he angry?
Yeah.
That's not very Christian of him. Like,
it's not a man of God thing to do. I'm like, okay.
Well, you're not allowed to have emotions if you're a Christian.
Yeah.
Jesus got angry. It's like, so these theologians. But
Is that ever feel like a lot of pressure to kind of feel like you have to wear that, or?
No, I live free, and I live free from man's approval. And and if the Lord convicts me of something because I said something wrong or I handled a situation wrong, I'm going to ask for forgiveness, and I'm going to ask that person for forgiveness. Like, I'm saying, hey, that was on me. I'm sorry. I've had it with teammates where I yell out and I spat out and I was wrong, and I'm like, dude, hey, come back to him a couple hours later, the next day, and be like, hey, I apologize, man. Like, that was a bad situation. I'm sorry, and I know it's weird right now, but hopefully you can forgive me. We just move on, and I've done that, because I'm human, but I live free from any of that.
And Carson Wentz's foundation is called Audience of One. It's based on that same concept of just,
yes,
that if you try to live for everyone else, then it's not going to work.
You're going to be tired.
Yeah.
You try and please everybody, But yeah, anyway.
Okay, so now there's going to be some fan questions from people you know and some from actual random people. But one that you might know, Tyler wants to know, out of our family and friends, you put Noah and Nick in there if you want.
Okay.
Who are the top 3 best Madden players in our family? He said don't count yourself.
Not counting myself?
Did not count yourself.
These days, this left thumb is different.
You can get rude because I know the group chat's going to pop off after this one goes off.
Austin with Ted Hendricks is a I'm going to say this, is a 98 out of 100. Only because you're not 100 out of 100 because of play action pass.
Yeah, he's in there. He's in there biting on the play action.
In there, probably wrong gap, too.
Play action pass in the wrong gap. hitting the running back or hitting the quarterback or giving up an explosive. It is a risk, the definition of risk reward.
100%.
But Austin as Ted Hendricks at middle linebacker is one of the most insane things I've ever seen in any video game. Like I'd put you as Ted Hendricks up there with Cooper on a Twitchy video game, like Call of Duty or something. Like it's ridiculous. Okay, you at running back, you're trash.
Dang. Okay.
You're trash at running back, bro.
Well, dude,
but your potential
that's where it
is an
lies.
A+.
That's good.
And I only said trash. That was a harsh word.
Yeah, it's okay, but I need it, I think.
I think you needed it.
He needs to hear it.
I need to be said.
Like after this, let's just go. I'll teach you how to see like the techniques. If it's outside zone, inside zone, power, like slow it down. Where your eye. If I could get your eyes focused, you're a focused man.
Yeah.
So I think you could become probably the greatest dual threat player since Bo Jackson.
The problem is with that AJ Dillon card we've
Sports.
got.
Yeah.
Both sides of the ball.
No, I am the perfect athlete.
With the AJ Dillon quadfather one is that he takes the wrong gap but then still gets 10
It's
yards.
not
So
work.
that's
That's what I'm saying.
So that's why it tricks you into thinking like, oh, he's really good, but he's actually.
Yes. I haven't played enough with Noah to have like a scouting report. But Noah's not bad. He's not a bad player.
And people might not realize that if you were mic'd up during a football game and you mic'd up during a Madden game, I think it would sound really similar.
It's really
based on
similar,
the, like the level of audibles, that everything going on.
The panic in the group chat after you said run a whole shot, panic in our group chat was wild.
Derek, I wish you could have seen my face when you said, all right, Noah, run a whole shot, and then snap the ball.
This little guy went, I don't know where to go.
In my head, I'm like, thank God I'm not Noah right now.
As I was running, I said, like, whole shot. Okay, so hole between the safeties? Or where's the hole at? Is it cover 2, cover 3?
That's so funny.
I was like, well, it's got to be the hole between, I'm shooting the hole between some. I just don't know which hole it is.
No, I would say that you guys' potential is high.
That's
because you guys are raw at the football knowledge that I'm trying to play at. It's not a video game level, you know.
No, he's giving us real read. I'm like, dang, bro. All right, let's go.
You're gonna run choice route. Push in at the will linebacker. Break across face if you can. If not, whip it back out and I'll put it on you. Like you're like. What?
Dude, that's the worst. You go do this. I'll go, okay, going out.
Versus where
and the guy doesn't move. All the routes are going just right there.
That's like the difference between that and when I was playing quarterback last night. Nick didn't like. He complained about the route I put him on. He said, "Don't put me on a drag route," so I just put him on blocking to heighten the ball.
That's awesome. That's good. Nick's good.
Nick's
a solid player.
He's getting better, yeah.
No, he's getting better. The first time we played, I think he went 0 for 7 with 4 pickies.
Yeah. It was all to a D lineman, too. All to a D tackle that kept backing up.
He didn't understand cover 0. I think he's most improved.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay. Ty's a really good player.
Yeah, I'll say you got 2 more to pick.
So Ty is a good player. Darren will get you a sack anytime you want it. Okay, but when you tell him to run a route, he'll run it. But then, I think he sees sometimes, if I tell him to run a flat route, and he actually gets better at this.
Yeah.
He'll run a flat route, but then he'll be like, oh, I see something. He'll just cook and I'll throw it out of bounds. Like, dang it. You know, but I see what he sees. Yeah.
I think people don't understand. When we're playing Madden, I'm like, we're playing against two NFL quarterbacks and then a college quarterback. I'm like, dude, it's the hardest thing ever. They know what's going on. I can't trick them.
But Darren's good. Darren will get you a sack or stop your run game. If you're running the ball back, Darren, he doesn't even do anything. He'll just go to the 3 technique. And I don't know how he does it.
Yeah,
he beats everybody. It's ridiculous.
And then DCH just realized, he's like, I'm just going to run NCAA football.
Dave is funny, bro. Me and Dave had one of the greatest Madden matches. If we recorded it and you heard the audio, and if I could somehow put what was going on in both our brains on paper, I made an audible. You know how they go a certain direction? I made this. I did it earlier in the game, and I threw something a completion. Then I did it, and I did it, and then I did it, and I knew that he knew it, so I did it. But then after he does it, you can sneak one in for the other side.
Yeah.
So he goes like this, and I snuck one in because I knew he thought I'd do this, but he knew that I was doing that, and then he doubled it, and I went here, and then I went back and threw the completion over there. And we both, I'm not kidding you, we both laughed for 5 minutes because of the chess game.
Yeah.
I was like, because I'm like, you knew it. It's but it was insane. So mentally, we're playing at a different level. When we're playing Ted Hendricks and stuff, my mental game, Like I have to slow my breath down. It's like he's gonna do something fake here in a second, and I just gotta.
I think that's what a lot of people have to understand. When we played Madden, it's like it's not all real. There's dudes gonna jump 30 feet in the air. You just gotta accept it,
dude. Like when they're at the line of scrimmage and pick off a seam, like I'm like, I've never seen this in my life. You know, like come on. But and then Brandon's a good player. Brandon's a good player. Ty's a good player. Darren's good. Top 3 though. You and Ted Hendricks. I'll give that. Probably Darren as a D lineman. Like, kid you not, like, you guys know. Like,
we know. Yeah, we know the deal.
He sacks every time.
Yeah.
You know, if you see Darren on, you guys will slide your line. Darren as a D lineman. Brandon does everything. I can't put myself in there. Like, that's crazy. Me at free safety, me at quarterback, me at kick returner.
He's saying every position.
Me at receiver. I'm the greatest free safety in Madden history.
Yeah, I will say one thing. DC8 is probably in the top 3 for quarterback. The man cannot play wide receiver. He stresses me out.
No, he can't play receiver.
Yeah.
But he probably is the best Madden quarterback.
He's really
the best.
Yeah, because I think he kind of understands that's going to be fake, so he kind of works with it.
He works with the fakeness, and I'm trying to be so real.
Yeah, he's trying to break it.
Like this is what makes me so mad.
DC8 leans into the cheese
I'll run
more.
a route like to get your eyes or whatever, and you'll bite, and so like in my world, I got you to bite. Boom, here I go. And like the windows, it just happens. You know, you'll bite, and I'll throw it, and all of a sudden you're like.
Yeah, and then Ted
pick. I'm like, bro, what? You're running that way, you know?
Yeah.
Like the other day, like your guy was running backwards, and I threw something in front of him, and because he had acrobat on, as he's running full speed that way, he dives in front of my guy. I almost lost it. I was like, you know, if I could just have give me 5 days. At the old EA. Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. You got to be one of their, like Ochocinco is right now. You got to be one of their boys.
You know, like, they be hating on me, though. They're all about what's popular and famous and what's who's winning. Yeah. Like, as soon as our team wins, I'm an 88. As soon as we lose, I'm a 78. I'm like, it's all our guys, not just me, but I'm just like, come on, bro.
Well, sometimes it's also not even just the overall, but, like, the specific stats where you dive a little deeper, where I'm like...
Yes.
Well, I'm like... Derek's accuracy is what? I thought that was.
Yeah.
I thought
they just be reading.
I thought that was a strength. They
just be reading stats, bro. Like I feel like you should be able to just if we were just in a DNA room. Like what's the man's DNA? Put that on the stats. You know, let the man cook.
You know about the AKA cards, right? Like Quadfather. What do you think? What would your name be if they gave you one?
Oh man.
I feel like there's a few good ones for you. We could give you a few.
What? Like, what you think?
I'd probably put dog, just one of them.
Dog, I use that a lot. The dog father. I am the dog father over at Bakersfield Christian High School.
That's good.
The dog father's a good one. They gave me that one. Oh man, I don't know. Probably something for like end of games. Something.
Now that since your nickname, most popular name has always been DC4. Were you at all worried that you were gonna lose 4 during free agency? Were you worried you were going to lose 4?
I was actually excited. I was going to pick a different number.
He was giving us his numbers, and there were some great choices on there.
I was wearing 1, 3, 7, and then 13 was another one because Pop my dad.
Yeah,
and 3 + 1 is 4, and so I thought
not because you wanted to be like Hunter.
Yeah, well, he is the GOAT.
Exactly.
Hunter Renfrow is the greatest football player of all time.
It's not even controversial to say that.
Yeah, no.
The sky's blue.
If anyone has a problem with that, you have a problem with me. And Dabo Sweeney.
Yeah. We have another fan question. So last time DC8 was on, this one might be controversial. He gave his top 5 quarterbacks list. I was wondering if you want to give yours. All time.
Oh, all time?
Yeah.
Oh, gosh. You know.
He threw a modern day guy in here. You don't have to. And he said excluding you. So.
Excluding me?
Yeah.
Thank you.
You don't gotta exclude Dave though.
Yeah, you can put Dave in there.
So David Carr.
He also told me to say, if Peyton's not your number 1, he'll be mad at you.
No, he knows Peyton's my number 1. Peyton knows Peyton's my number 1. Oh, there's so many. Peyton, Tom, you got Brett, you got Elway, Marino. Oh my gosh. Brees, like... You got so many guys. And, you know, I love what they started doing in basketball. That's why I don't like lists is, like, because I definitely probably forgot someone just sitting here that I would actually want on there. Mm-hmm. You know, what they started doing is, like, just let the man have his era, you know.
Yeah.
Peyton was great, Tom was great. You know, Brett was great.
I think it's a lot better giving them a decade and be like, this dude's the best this decade, this decade.
Yes.
Yeah. I think it's a lot better.
Tom played for so many decades. You know? He's got so many, you know. But, you know, I just, like, why can't they all just be great in their own way?
Well, that's what we were talking about before, was like with basketball, you know, everyone's like MJ or LeBron. And I'm like, I'm not ever going to argue that Kobe's everyone's objective GOAT, but if you ask me who my GOAT is, that's what I'd say. And I'm not going to argue against someone else that says someone different.
100% Kobe's my favorite. You know, Kobe's 1,000% my favorite because of the mentality, and not saying the other two don't have it. They obviously have it because they're great, you know.
Right.
Yeah.
But just the way he carried himself and the clutch shots and like, I'm kid you not, every time I throw a game-winning pass or like something to put us in field range and make the winner, like that's, I feel like Kobe, you know?
Yeah.
Like that's how I feel, you know, like him standing up there just pounding his chest, you know, like, you know, like, then I think that why can't they all just be great?
Yeah.
You know, they're all great, man. Like, you know, there's certain, to accomplish what we try and accomplish, like the work that goes into it, I don't want to degrade anybody's work.
Yeah, and that, like, just like you said, like, you forget one dude's name and then everyone's gonna be on your head.
Oh,
like,
you
didn't
tweet about it, right?
Yeah, you didn't do that. You didn't put this guy in. I'm like, okay.
Yeah,
just trying to have fun.
We're just trying to cook, man.
We're just trying to joke around. Can't laugh.
We can't laugh with the boys, man.
Can't have a good time.
Send a laugh, bro. Like, what are we doing?
You mentioned Drew. I was curious, now that you're headed to the Saints, have you had much interaction with Drew, or have you seen, because I saw public comments that he made about you, just about how excited he was and how much he thought you would work well with Carmichael, but was just curious what that relationship is like.
Oh, it's been great. Drew reached out, and I asked him a lot of questions before I made my decision. I remember I was in Mexico, and he called, and we got on the phone, and I asked a lot of questions about the city and about the team and about coaches and players and all that. And he was so kind to take the time to do that. And he actually wanted me to play in some golf thing with him. I think we have OTAs or something like during that. But it's been really cool to have that relationship. And Peyton reached out and sent me Archie's number and sent me his brother Cooper's number. And they both reached out. And to have Drew and Archie, and reaching out and they just want to see you succeed, and I think that's really cool to have, to have former Saint quarterbacks, not trying to pick you apart and, not trying to, put a hole everywhere and try and skew people's eyes in certain directions, but they just want what's best for you because what's best for you is what's best for the Saints,
Yeah.
And I think that's a beautiful thing. It's probably something that I'll take with me when I'm a former Raider and former Saint quarterback, that I'll be more like those two guys and trying to see the next whoever succeed.
And stylistically, you and Drew actually have quite a lot of similarities, I'd say. Even that's something that Drew talked about, was just the ability to get to the line and try to have the best play every time, whether that's making adjustments or whatever it is. And that's something that'll be cool to see.
Yeah, it's really cool. It was really cool when we would battle because, it was, I think, total in the game, hand signals, audibles, protection adjustments, run game adjustments, all those kind of things. Like it was the list. If you compared them when we played each other to when other people played each other, I think those times of all those checks would be really high.
Yeah.
Where we get to the line, or even in the huddle, it's like you get a thing where you see the coverage, and as they're lining up or breaking their huddle, and you're like, oh, so and so, hey, check that. Like it'd be interesting to see, because I've always admired him so much. His accuracy, his mental side of his game, his athletic ability to move in the pocket and find a completion. It's really cool.
I think at the end of your career, whenever you're like about to retire, you should sign 1 days with a whole bunch of the teams. So any theme team I make in any future Madden, I can always just get you on.
I'm gonna make a request that when I retire someday, so my nephews, please Madden. So for my nephews, ultimate teams.
Yeah.
They can put me on any theme team they want.
Can you get every 32? Yeah.
Can I get all the Kims? And the Legends Kim.
Yeah, and the Legends Kim. Yeah.
Because if you're old, they just put Legend on it.
Yeah, that DC4 Raiders Legends card is going to be so sick.
It's going to be cool. It'll be cool.
Some of those Legends are not that old either.
Yeah, that's what hurts me.
Phillip one?
Phillip Rivers.
Yeah, Phillip retired last year.
I see Richard Sherman. I'm like, that feels soon.
that feels a little soon. But it's just poor old.
Yeah. I saw another fan wanted to ask, I know you've talked about it before, but just real quick, what was it like reuniting with Tay in the pro level?
Oh, it was great. And he had one of his best years. You know, everyone, which was hilarious. Before the year, like, yo, he's not going to have anything. He's gonna, all right, dude. We'll see. You know, and he had a fantastic year. And, you know, I look forward to him doing that and continuing his Hall of Fame career. You know, it's been awesome to watch. It was fun to be a part of. You know, he's an amazing player. You know, you think of something and you think of something as you put it out there, and you see the creativity side of it, and you like the Kansas City one. You know, I saw that in my head before that, and I was like, Josh, if we put him on a punt, you know, it'd be awesome to hit him in that double team. We'll split it, and he's like, yeah. And Josh was great. He's like, yeah, let's do it. And he called it, and third, you know, whatever it was, and we hit it. And he has the ability to see it the way you see it. Yeah. You know, not everyone can see in the moment, you know, when it's happening the way you see it. You know, there's many times I've thrown a post or I've thrown something, I'm like, I'm like, gosh, like, how'd you, you know, it's like me with you on Madden. How'd you not see that? Like, how'd you not, that's the window, or whatever. But, you know, he has a unique ability to see that and attack people and do all that. So it was really fun to do that, to say that we did at the college level, at the pro level, and he had amazing production, and you know, that'll always be cool when we're old and playing golf someday.
Yeah, and that kind of ties into another fan's question. What is your favorite moment as a Raider? Was that it? Playing with was it reuniting with Tay? Was it getting drafted? Do you have a single moment that you can think about? I know it's hard because, you know, it was almost a decade.
You know, it felt like every time I broke a record, it was a loss, so I didn't get to enjoy those. Yeah, all the other ones. You know, I think.
That's why they should have done like when LeBron broke the record. They paused the game so that the Lakers didn't get to lose till afterwards.
That's right.
That's why you just stop it midway through and then celebrate, and then you have
that's probably on me. I should have stormed the field to giving you that time.
You should have stormed the field.
Yeah, I should have stormed the field and been like, go.
Can I get a little confetti? Just kidding. You know, the records and all those things were cool, you know, and seeing them on the Jumbotron and hearing the reception of those things, and from, you know, Kenny Stabler's, you know, daughter, and you know, different people's families and all that. You know, they made me a cool video of all the quarterbacks saying congratulations. Those were cool moments. You know, I think the year that really just sticks out to me is that year when Coach Bissacia took over. I've never been on a team with so much love for one another. I've never been on a team that fought for each other like that. I've never been on a team where there was so much unity, and, you know, there was a great function there, you know. And for me, I think my greatest memory was at that moment we had a decision to make, and our team decided that we weren't going to give in, you know, when Rich took over. And we decided that, no, we're going to make something out of this. And it didn't end in a Super Bowl, but we did go to the playoffs for the second time, you know, in my career there, and for the second time in 30 years there, you know. And, you know, to be a part of that team is something that's special to me. You know, that team was special. You know, I loved that team so much. I loved the leadership. You know, I'll never forget this, and I don't even know if I've told this story. I think one of my favorite memories was the night before we played the Chargers in that last week of the season. And it was like win and get in or whatever the situation, and then it turned into a tie or whatever, you know. And the night before, Rich called me into his office, and he did it with a couple guys, but he called me in, and he just began to show me some highlight plays. And he wasn't saying anything. He's like, just sit down. In his way that he goes, sit down, like this. And he starts showing plays, and I don't know what he's going to show me. I was like, he better yell at me, like, what are we doing? You know, I was like, I'm ready, you know, and whatever he says, I'm going to say it. He's showing these plays, and I'm stepping in, I'm throwing it, I'm getting blasted, and another one I step in and get hit, and another one I take off running, and another one is, you know, someone blew an assignment, and I end up like going like this and tossing it, and then Josh makes a great run, and, you know, and then I'm scrambled for a first down, and, you know, and then he shows a bad play, but then he shows my reaction, and he's like, if you're this guy tomorrow, we're going to go to the playoffs, and we're going to do something that hasn't been done in 60 years, where an intern coach comes in and the team takes us to playoffs, but it's going to be because of you guys. It's going to be because you guys made the decision, and that'll be a special thing if you do that tomorrow. I went to bed that night, and I said, there's no chance we lose that game.
Yeah.
There's no chance. You know, I said, I'm going to do exactly what this man asked me to do.
Yeah.
And I'm going to do it because I love him, you know,
Right.
and I'll do anything for this guy. And it was hard, It was a tough game. It was physical. It was tough. And we pulled it out. And I remember hugging him and saying, I told you I got your back, And I think that might be my favorite memory. I got some really cool ones with Gruden. I got some really cool ones with Ole and different guys, but I think that one might be my favorite.
I think it was just special for like us as a family, just watching you finally get to actually play in a playoff game with the Raiders, the team you love so much. I was like, finally, bro.
We were cooking too, man.
Especially though. I mean, you don't have to say anything, but I am on the team of if you didn't get hurt in 2016, you would have been MVP and Super Bowl champ. So I'm just gonna throw that out there.
I would have MVP that year.
Yeah, if you weren't hurt, I believe that Raiders team would have been Super Bowl champs for sure.
Yeah, which is crazy.
On a roll, it was insane to watch.
And the team we lost in the playoffs, we just beat Mexico earlier. So yeah, I mean, what could have been?
Yeah, that was also the very first game DCA went to watch. When you hurt your leg. Not. Yeah, when you hurt your leg. Very first game you went.
Bruh. Did you ever come back to
Is he invited to New Orleans this year, or he can't come to any of those games?
The first one.
Also, I still think, I don't know if you have more questions as we wrap it up. I think it's cool. Kenny Stabler also ended his career in New Orleans. I'm not saying you're going to end your career in New Orleans or whatever, but.
Look at here.
I don't want to put you in a box. What I'm just saying.
Put me in a box.
Well, you were just asking him to sign one days all over the country.
Yeah,
I don't know what's going on now.
It's going to be a month full of signings.
Yeah, he's got 30 more teams to get through.
That's true, my bad. I forgot you got 30 more teams to get through.
And some of those signings are going to break some hearts, too.
I'll be watching the Giants. I'll be watching the Giants in Houston one like this.
That's funny, man. But yeah, no, that's cool, And the Stabler family, they've been so great to me.
Yeah.
And I'm so thankful and grateful to them for those times. And now, hopefully, they can still root for me. I'll be in New Orleans.
Mm-hmm.
When you signed with the Saints, you knew a lot of the weapons that you're going to have on offense. How did it feel to be like, oh, we need another running back. Let's just pick up the guy that rushed for more touchdowns last year than anybody else.
What's really exciting is, when you get around like some guys that are really, when you get around an organization that's been so successful, they've won a lot of games and they've had the same GM forever. Mickey's been there forever.
Yeah.
And I think players are good. And when those teams that have been successful sign those players, you're like, I may know what I'm talking about. Right. Like, you're like, I might actually know. And so, like, I love Jamaal.
Jamal's also one of the most fun guys to watch in the league.
He's hilarious. He texted me like Pikachu pictures. I don't want to say the wrong thing. But he's sending me pictures and stuff, and he's great. I love him. But I think you see a guy that had all the touchdowns, and then the Saints signed him. I was like, first of all, where do we get all the money? Where do we get this money? My man Kai in New Orleans, that man be wheeling and dealing. But no, it's funny, man. We signed him. I was like, dude, this is awesome. And you start seeing all the signings, and you're like we signed Lonnie Johnson. I'm like, bro, that guy's a baller. I've always loved him. He's so talented. And then we sign him, and you're like, I was right. Yeah, they think so too.
I just can't even picture I'm not a GM or whatever, but like the packages, you, Taysom, Jamaal, Kamara when he's healthy, Olave, Michael Thomas, it's insane.
I think the only chance I can get a Taysom run, I was like, Taysom, let me get one. Can I just have one? It may only take one for me to be like, bro, it's all yours.
We need you to finally catch a touchdown. That's what we need.
I need a catch. So now, hey, look, man, Taysom, bro, I'm ready. I am ready, but whip that thing to me.
And now you're also reuniting with Jonathan Abram, too.
That's right.
True. Just signed.
I was begging him, too. I was like, he was going through the process. I was like, bro, come be a Saint. Like, stop playing. Come back. Let's do what we can. Let's see if we can go try and win the South and see what happens after that. But let's have fun because I love John. He's a great teammate. He plays so hard. He's not perfect, like none of us. We're not perfect, but when you play with that much effort and that physicality, you're like, do you want that kind of guy on your team?
No, so I think his rookie year was your Hard Knocks year, right?
Yes.
Yeah, and I was like, this guy is incredible. He's just, you look at him, you're like, he's giving effort. Like,
absolutely. He just doesn't know how to say salmon.
I remember that.
That video. That is the one memorable moment from Hard Knocks. Is that one?
Yep.
Anything else?
Yeah, I think that's it.
That's it.
Hey, yeah,
it's sad.
Thanks for flying out here for the pod.
Yeah, I think you're flying out for the pod. Nothing else.
I literally flew out here on my own dime.
Yeah.
And I'm going right back.
Yeah, he's gone.
That just tells you what kind of podcast we are. That we've got starting NFL quarterbacks
flying to
dying to get on the pod that they would fly out.
I mean, your list is so long. I'm glad you could fit me in.
Yeah.
You guys were like, dude, the only time that works for us.
Yeah, I was like,
well, we had to push back Tom Brady actually to do this. Tom, we were supposed to film with Tom today.
Tom's busy.
Yeah, I was like, we're good.
Yeah, Tom's busy. That makes sense. Yeah.
Well, thank you, Derek. Man, hopefully next time we have you on, we'll have DCA and DC 75 with you.
That would be great. I don't know.
That couch might not fit everybody.
It might not fit everything we want to say. I don't know if I want to be on that podcast. I'm going to go ahead and say this now. Anything that Darren or David Carr says is not coming from me. I'm going to go ahead and separate myself.
Yeah.
Now, they are my brothers, and I will protect them until I'm blue in the face.
Yep.
But I'm looking in the camera. They are grown men, and they speak for themselves.
I think for that podcast, we need to get a couple extra mics, but some of them might not need to be plugged in.
Yeah.
That's correct.
Darren's mic will be talking, it'll sound like like one of he'd be so mad. You would never talk to me again.
You need to have sophomore tight end Tyler Carr on the podcast, and everything that he says and don't tell him is just from the Muppets. And when he watches the interview,
Never forget
It's
when
like when
Tyler
you play-
ruined the first podcast by hitting the laugh track over and over. That's real life.
I went to I put my headset to edit it, and there was this clapping, laughing, all these sound effects all over.
His quote to me was, "What's wild is I knew I was ruining the podcast, but I couldn't stop pressing the button."
We'd be in the middle of talking, and then he'd hit.
oh gosh, that's hilarious. That's so funny.
Well, thank you again, Derek, for coming on. It's been great.
Thank you. Love you guys.
Good luck this season.
Appreciate it.
Go Saints. Who
Ain't it funny like when someone was a college hat and you don't know their mascot?
Go
I'm just kidding.
Mustangs.
I'm just kidding. I do.
Ride high.
Ride high.